All right, let's get the latest transfer talk in, and we'll begin with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Sounds like Borussia Dortmund's CEO has come out and said, we're only going to wait a few more days to resolve this thing. How do you think it plays out?
The thing is, it's really out of Hans-Joachim Watzke's control here because, he can go and he can set deadlines, but then after that, what's he going to do if Aubameyang demands a move or if a suitable offer comes in? These deadlines, they're all part and parcel of negotiations. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. Milan certainly were looking at him long and hard, although they're reportedly looking after Morata rather than Aubameyang, who of course started his career at Milan. Chelsea are the other club who obviously everybody knows are looking for a centre forward, and certainly he remains an alternative, but also in the mix, as we said, are Alvaro Morata's again and Torino's Andrea Bellotti.
Guys, this situation with Aubameyang is just weird. How do we explain how he's gone from seemingly being one of the biggest targets of the summer to now not really being able to find a home? What do you think, Steve?
It's a complete head scratcher. Gab's talking in terms of, teams don't want to pay what Borussia are asking. And you look around and see what's going on now. You got a fullback going for 50 million. You got Lukaku at 75 million. I would have Aubameyang in my team before Lukaku, and he goes for 75 million pounds, but yet nobody wants Aubameyang. It's a complete head scratcher. The guy has gone from the top of the tree to almost in a place where, well, we'll see what's going on, and if we're still struggling, we'll go and get this guy. For a guy that scores that many goals, head scratcher.
And has done it for years now, and a progression. It's not as if you said there's the 1 year and, okay, it kind of fell off there. No, he progressively has gotten better, scored more goals for a club like Borussia Dortmund, Champions League. To your point, it's surprising. Now, even if it was somebody throws an offer of 40, 50 million out there, sees what Dortmund does, but right now it doesn't look like anybody's that interested.
But it just feels like after he was supposed to be going to PSG, it was supposed to be done. And then once PSG backed out, it feels as if everybody else said, hold on a second, what do they know that we don't know? What's happening here that we're not certain about? You don't just go from leading the Bundesliga and being a hot property in the market to now being a lukewarm afterthought. And that's exactly what Aubameyang is. And so I understand that he might have not been a first priority, but it doesn't feel like now he's a priority at all to any of these teams, because Chelsea is a forward, and they don't seem to be the ones that are going right after Aubameyang and saying, we'll pay anything for you. Right now, there are things that we don't know, information that we're not privy to, that maybe are influencing the decision.
But on the nice side of it is, he's at Borussia Dortmund.
Right.
I mean, he's not at a small Bundesliga team. He is at a very big club, and if it doesn't work out this summer, if I was him, I'd just be quiet. You're at a big club. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, just tear it up one more year and hope that interest comes.
Let's get Gab in. Gab, what's your take on all this? What's going on with Aubameyang?
Yeah, I think there's two factors here. One is that, and this is just sheer dumb luck from Aubameyang, most of the teams that this summer are looking for center forwards, and that applies to United, Chelsea, certainly, we're looking for lead the line, target men type center forwards, and that's not his game. And I think given sort of the power that managers have these days, where they're paid so much money and they're given so much control, that they say, no, I want this specific type of center forward. They don't want to overhaul their team to accommodate an Aubameyang. And I think at the same time, there's also an issue where I think maybe some of his people played it a little bit wrong. And in the case of Chelsea, I think Chelsea just are still sitting there saying, you know what, there might be other options. If we want an Aubameyang type, maybe Alexis Sanchez becomes viable, given given some of his quotes back in Chile. So they're kind of sitting there working on multiple fronts, and they're pretty confident that they can bring in the right deal at the right price.
Property a year ago, talks of a move to possibly Real Madrid, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's stock appears to have fallen at this transfer window. He's being talked about a move now, Stuart, but it seems like he's maybe second or third choice, backup choice to some of these big spending Premier League teams, as opposed to a Real Madrid or a Barcelona.
Well, I think last season he had his best goal return for Borussia Dortmund, so he's an outstanding player. He can run in behind, he can score goals, he's a good finisher. Didn't have a great African Cup of Nations, and I think that's when a lot of the scouts were looking at him, and he was playing for Gabon, who weren't a great side. It was in Gabon as well, he didn't play particularly well. I'm not sure technically he's that good with his back to goal, and the way Borussia Dortmund play, it suits him, because they play on the front foot, they keep sliding balls down the side of defenders, he's racing onto them. If he's left as the lone striker, and when teams want to defend that little bit deeper, has he got the technical ability to bring others into play? That's why I think he's not top of everybody's wish list at the moment.
Do you think he will move? Given he spent 4 years at Dortmund, he's gotten better and better each year, but maybe now is the time where they feel they have to cash in.
I think they want to probably get rid of him now and cash in, and I think he probably wants to go. Whether it's a Premier League side, whether it's a La Liga side, we don't know at the moment, but I think he's a very, very good player, and he's as good as most of the players we've been talking about. Is he better than Lacazette? I think he probably is.
Do you think then that he will move before another couple of these dominoes fall down, or is he going to have to wait his turn?
He could be the start of it all. He could be the player that moves and then everybody then follows on from there. So I think he's a player that's going to go somewhere in the Premier League this season. Where? I'm not quite sure at the moment.
OK, well, the price might be to some of those big boys' likings. There's talk of Chelsea. There's talk of other destinations as well for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Who is going to make the bid that Dortmund have to accept?
Off show with Raf Honigstein. Why has Aubameyang not been scooped up yet, Raf?
It's an excellent question. I can only think of a couple of reasons. I think, first of all, to buy a big centre forward for 80, maybe 90 million euros is only going to be viable for a couple, 3 or 4, maybe 5 clubs at best, and not many of them need a centre forward. Arsenal have made their move. Man United have made their move. That really leaves Chelsea as the only of the big teams still in need of a centre forward. The second reason, which relates to that, is I think at the moment of those clubs who have been trying to buy a centre forward, they want an out-and-out number 9. They want somebody who can lead the line, who can play with his back to goal, who can hold it up. And Aubameyang is many things, but he's not that. He is the guy to go long. He is the guy who can play short passes to. He's very fast, but he's not going to lead the line, old school number 9 type, on a wet Tuesday night in Burnley. So maybe not quite the type of player that's in demand in the Premier League at the moment.
Do you remember when you upset all those Burnley fans, Shaq?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When you said, why would anyone want to sign for Burnley? There's not even an airport.
I don't remember that at all.
Hey, all those Burnley fans.
So is there an airport or not?
I don't know. I'm not.
There is
I
not.
I don't frequent
There is
Burnley.
not an airport.
I don't frequent Burnley.
So do you recommend Burnley as a place that I should go visit?
I don't know. I haven't been to Burnley
Ali.
quite some time.
No. No.
Maris, if Chelsea doesn't sign a new striker, are Chelsea still favourites to win the title next season?
No, absolutely not. No, they need that number 9. We've been talking about it recently. Morata, that's left out there, I think is absolutely perfect. Fits the bill to a T.
Okay. When it comes to Rooney's legacy at United, what do you think he'll be most remembered for?
Goal scoring, winning trophies, you name it. He's done it all. I mean, what else is there more to say about the lad? He's done it all.
Why does that make you angry?
I know. There's a certain attitude to your answer there.
What kind of question is that?
When it comes to Rooney's legacy at United,
Like, what's the, yeah?
what's he going to be remembered for?
Probably the goal against City, yeah?
Oh,
Why has that made you angry?
it's the whole thing. His
You cannot
legacy, not just
define
one
Rooney
goal.
by an incident, by a goal, by a match.
Okay.
He is the
It's
team's
a
all-time
legacy.
leading goal
It's a
scorer.
legacy.
legacy.
His legacy is a legacy.
Would you give
in
him a
itself.
statue?
If he wants one, why not? If he pays for it, give him a statue.
Would you like a statue?
Where did that come from? Would you give him a statue?
We were talking, haven't they? They should have a statue. Just the fact that he slept in Everton pyjamas during all the time he was at United.
That may be an issue,
Do you think that might be an issue?
That's no issue.
No?
No.
It's what he does on the field, right, Shaq?
Behave yourself.
The legacy.
With the pajamas.
I love that. I love that.
Should Pogba have jumped into the pool to save Alexis?
What? No. He pushed Lexi into the pool, so he wasn't going to go after her.
Alexis didn't look like she needed saving.
No.
She was,
all right.
you know, having a little swim.
If you're doing rock, paper, scissors and you're stood by the edge of the pool,
yes.
you know what's coming.
Yeah. It's an oldie but a
I
goodie.
can't believe she fell for that trick.
You think it was a setup?
I do think it was a setup. I can't believe.
Oh, controversy.
Now, I can tell you that our audio person will suggest it's not a setup. Because
All right,
you
all
don't
right.
wear a microphone.
All
do you, in
right.
the swimming pool.
Okay, all right. Just my opinion.
Controversy.
See what I mean? There's always a custard pie coming, and there it is.
I thought this was a judgment-free zone.
That is, give it to me.
Yeah, it takes a big custard pie.
Steady. There's
So what
nothing.
moment defines Rooney's legacy?
I've never seen Maris get so
When he gets
angry.
the statue.
Lovely.
When he gets the statue.
Statue at Ipswich for you? Hey, the birds would love it.
It's a lot of material.
Think of the numbers that could sit on that noggin.
See, why do I put up with this?
I don't know.
I don't know.
There's no need for it.
It's unfair.
I didn't even laugh. I didn't laugh.
Yeah, what?
I didn't.
Jurgen Klopp is saying positive things about him. Stuart Robson is here with me. Stuart, he says Sturridge is in the best physical condition now that he's seen since he's taken over at Liverpool. So can this finally be his season to shine, or to sizzle, as our graphic will say?
I don't think so, because I'm not sure that Jurgen Klopp is going to play him that often. He doesn't see him as a player that he wants to lead the line, because he doesn't press the ball well enough. He doesn't do the things that Jurgen Klopp wants him to do when the opposition have the ball. So he will always be third or fourth choice, and they've brought other players to do that exact job. Mane obviously is ahead of him. Firmino is ahead of him. Salah will be ahead of him. So he's going to have to come off the bench and then try and play well and try and score goals and keep himself in the side.
Ouch. Well, he's still young, just 27 years old, soon to turn 28, but you've...
Got to do it for Liverpool or nobody at all.
All right, well, it's probably tough for him to hear. Thank God that you're not the manager of Liverpool, or who knows if he'd be inspired. Thanks so much to Stuart Robson for that. We'll continue tracking Daniel Sturgeon if indeed he does become that superstar next season.
Market is open, you always will have these kind of rumors, and I think they will keep on until the end of that the market is open, until the end of August. Not only about him, but also about other players, and that's modern football these times. But there's no news. Obviously he is a fantastic player, and I'm happy that he's in our squad, and I only will think of problems if the problem is really there, and he is here, so there's no problem.
The transfer window, you said you were relaxed about the way it's gone so far. Have there been any frustrations yet?
No. What do you mean with frustration? If I got all the players I want, so until now, I'm not easy to frustrate. So it's a thing. That's a market. Really, you go for things. Sometimes it works out, sometimes not. That's how it is. It's not nobody's fault. It's like this. So no, I'm still relaxed. So full pre-season so far, so that's very important, of course, not just for him, but also for him, and looking good. Yeah, it was quite intense, especially in England so far. It was intense what we did. All the games we played out of full training, so, and it was part of pretty much each session, so it's good.
That says a lot about, I suppose, the kind of physical state that he's in going into a new season, the fact that he can do that, given the injuries that he's had.
It's the best condition since I'm in. It was always, okay, I came in October 15, and Daniel, I think, I'm not sure, but was probably injured. And then last pre-season was after a tournament, and all that stuff, short break, and this year he has had a proper break, and now, yeah, he's in a good physical shape, absolutely.
For Alex Iwobi, of course he's still young, so he need to learn. He need to watch. He's very clever. So he's doing well last year. Unfortunately, he lost the position because it's not easy.
I'm sure it's quite frustrating for him not being played in the last few games. But when you are young, you have to work hard. You have to work hard because, especially when you have somebody in front of you.
The enabling environment he's got around him will definitely be a mechanism to really propel him further. You know, because he will have his fan who will be at least telling him, don't give up, come on, we trust, we believe in your qualities. We trust and we believe in him.
You know, it's only up to him. He has the quality and ability. It's only up to him to keep working and not put himself down and help his team, because at any time they will need him. He has to be ready for it.
I love this guy because he's clever, because he learns, he wants to learn. So this is the most important for him, and of course for Arsene Wenger.
Guter Moment, also auf jeden Fall. Ich war 5 Monate in der Reha, war somit nicht bei der Mannschaft, also konnte nicht mit der Mannschaft trainieren die letzten Monate. Deswegen ist es umso schöner für mich, dass ich jetzt im Juli wieder anfangen konnte, dass ich wieder mit der Mannschaft trainieren kann. Ja, die Vergangenheit, oder es ist jetzt einfach passiert, das lasse ich hinter mir und es geht jetzt nach vorne. Ich sehe die neue Saison und sie ist wichtig, die Saison ist wichtig für mich, ist wichtig für alle Spieler und deshalb wir freuen uns drauf. Ja.
What better way to start the sweeper on a Monday than with Mr. Monday Motivation himself, Patrice Evra. And this time he brought a friend. The Frenchman posted this video of himself and an adorable chimpanzee palling around, complete with a goodbye kiss. Oh, how cute is that? We already knew of Messi's prowess on the pitch, but who knew about his skill on the hardwood? This video surfaced of Lionel shooting some hoops, draining several baskets in a row, nothing but net. Looks like Leo's just as good an athlete with his hands as he is with his feet. Lucas Biglia had himself an embarrassing first day on the job. The former Lazio captain made the move to AC Milan, but it appears he hasn't adjusted quite yet. Biglia was heard saying "Forza Lazio" to some Rossoneri faithful who were seeking his autograph. Now that's a bit awkward. Next, we go to Tokyo, where Borussia Dortmund are on their pre-season tour. Mark Bartra and Shinji Kagawa caught quite the spectacle while on the team bus, as they looked out of the window only to find some real-life Mario Kart reenactors, costumes and all. Now that is something you don't see every day, especially in Germany. We finish in LA, where Man United took on the Galaxy in a pre-season friendly. The MLS club may have lost the match 5-2, but you can't say they were intimidated by the English Giants. Here we see LA's mascot Cosmo doing some trolling to Jose Mourinho, holding up a sign saying it's called soccer. Now, we can all love the beautiful game no matter what you call it. That's all for now. Tune in tomorrow for another edition of The Sweeper.